Around the globe, a recently retired nurse, Mark King, who worked at Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, passed away today from COVID-19, becoming the first frontline worker to die of the virus since the first case was confirmed on March 11th. The authorities confirmed that the 55-year-old male nurse was last stationed in the Accident and Emergency Unit and had underlying conditions. He was admitted to the COVID Intensive Care Unit on September 25th. The hospital's public relations officer, Shell Providence, in offering sympathy on behalf of the hospital, said that the nurse had served the profession for 31 years and that he had only retired in July. Meanwhile, nurses today continue their protest action for better salaries and working conditions, as well as risk allowances. We can tell you too, the Guyana Public Service Union has called on the Irfan Ali-led government to meet with the protesting nurses. This story to report: 2 American and 1 British-born scientists won the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine for work in identifying the hepatitis C virus, which causes liver cancer. That's according to the award-given body on Monday. The World Health Organization estimates more than 70 million cases around the world, with 400,000 people dying from the disease every year. Al Jazeera's Leah Hardin tells us more.
Getting a blood transfusion used to be a gamble. There was an unknown disease causing liver damage, and it wasn't hepatitis A or B. In 1989, 3 scientists were able to clone the unnamed virus and called it hepatitis C.
This year's Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine awards the discovery of the hepatitis C virus.
Americans Harvey Alter and Charles Rice, along with British-born scientist Michael Houghton, are considered pioneers in their field. The Nobel Committee says thanks to their discovery, highly sensitive blood tests for the virus are now available. Their discovery also allowed the rapid development of antiviral drugs directed at hepatitis C. For the first time in history, the disease can now be cured. Hepatitis C is a chronic disease found in the blood that can cause liver cancer and psoriasis. Many sufferers need liver transplants. The World Health Organization estimates more than 70 million cases worldwide, with 400,000 people dying from the disease every year. The discovery happened so long ago that the scientists weren't picking up their phones from the Nobel Committee to get the news.
I called them a couple of times before without any answer, but once I reached them, they were extremely surprised.
It has taken decades to fully measure the impact of their discovery.
It's critical to go to the beginning to really understand the basic original discoveries that have really enabled. There's so much else that has happened, so many advances in therapy, etc., but that's made possible by this initial discovery of the actual virus.
The disease primarily strikes stigmatized populations like illegal drug users and the poor. In developing countries, contaminated medical equipment or procedures infect millions. And in developed countries like the U.S., unscreened blood transfusions and needles can spread the virus. And when it comes to the latest virus pandemic, COVID-19, this year's Nobel winners offer hope for finding a cure.
But one like this should humble us in recognizing that doing good against viruses that are going to be associated with a lot of stigma, that's what science is about. Science is about defending those who feel stigmatized and oftentimes don't pursue medical care because of that stigma and shame.
Because of the pandemic, the Nobel announcement ceremony was virtual, and with no COVID vaccine, the celebration of other medical discoveries continues online too. Leah Harding, Al Jazeera.
Thanks so much. We'll come back to remind you of the headlines. A reminder of the headlines: a program for continuing education of adolescent mothers records 100% passes in CSEC examinations. Students say they were molded with positivity to succeed. Physically challenged 68-year-old Apra 2 resident praying for a moment to share his testimony. Vector Control Department expressing concern with the spike in leptospirosis cases. The Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee Corporation launched Monday to provide credit to small and medium-sized businesses in the Caribbean. In the sports news, excitement builds for the Pure Grenada Cup following the conclusion of the semi-finals on the weekend. And in Around the Globe, Guyana confirms the death of its first frontline worker infected with COVID-19. So tragic. And 2 American and 1 British-born scientists win the 2020 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine for work in identifying the hepatitis C virus. I'm Kenroy, Baptiste. That's all from us at the GBN Newsroom. Thank you for joining the broadcast. Until next time, good night.